My name is Liora. I am 27 years old. I live in a small apartment with my boyfriend, Kevin. He is 30. We have been together for a little more than 2 years. Our life is simple. We wake up, go to work, come home, cook, watch shows, and sleep. It feels normal. It feels safe. At least, it felt safe before this week. I work in an office. I check emails. I talk to people. I earn a little more money than Kevin. Not a lot more, but still more. Maybe around 15,000 more each year. I never thought that was a problem. He also has a job. His job is steady. He always pays his part of the rent. He pays on time. He is responsible. Because of that, I always felt calm. I trusted him. I really trusted him. We share many things. We share food. We share space. We share time. But we do not share a bank account. We never did. It was never a problem before. We split our bills, half and half. Simple, clean, easy. Last week, something changed. We were sitting on the couch at night. The room was quiet. Only the TV was on, but we were not really watching. Kevin looked serious. Very serious. I remember that feeling. My chest felt tight. I didn't know why. He said, "We should talk about our future." I smiled at first. I thought it was something nice, something warm. Maybe he would talk about marriage. Maybe he would talk about plans. I felt a little excited. I felt happy. I said, "Yes, of course." He nodded slowly. Then he said, "If we want a future, we need to be fully open. No secrets." I agreed at first. That sounded normal. That sounded healthy. I thought he meant we should talk about money, plans, goals. I thought we would sit down and discuss things like adults. So I said, "Okay, we can talk about everything." But then he said something that made me freeze. He said, "I want your bank login." I blinked. I laughed a little. I thought it was a joke. It sounded like a joke. Who asks that? I looked at him and waited for him to smile. He did not smile. He was serious. Very serious. I stopped laughing. I said, "Wait. You are serious?" He nodded. "Yes. I want to see everything, in real time." My heart started to beat fast. I felt confused. I felt uncomfortable. I didn't understand why he needed that. I said, "Why?" He leaned back and crossed his arms. "Because couples who are serious don't hide money. No secrets. That's how adults do it." His words stayed in my head. No secrets. Adults. It sounded like he was teaching me something, like I was doing something wrong. I didn't like that feeling. I said, "I'm not hiding anything. I just don't think you need my password." He looked at me with a sharp expression. "If you have nothing to hide, then why not?" That question hurt me. It made me feel small. It made me feel like I did something bad, even though I didn't. I took a deep breath. I tried to stay calm. "I trust you," I said slowly. "But this is different. This is my personal account. I don't want anyone else to have access." He quickly replied, "I wouldn't touch your money. I just want to see it." I felt more uncomfortable. I didn't like the idea of someone watching everything I do, every small thing, every coffee, every late-night snack, every small choice. I said, "It feels too much. It feels like no privacy." He frowned. "Privacy in a relationship? That sounds strange." Now I felt confused again. Was I wrong? Was I thinking wrong? My mind was busy. Too many thoughts. I tried to find a middle way. I didn't want to fight. I didn't want problems. So I said, "What if we do something else? We can make a shared plan. We can write our expenses. We can open a joint account for rent and bills. We can both put money there." I felt hopeful when I said that. I thought it was a good idea, a fair idea. But Kevin shook his head. "That's not the same," he said. His voice was colder now, not warm like before. "That's just you keeping a wall," he added. A wall. That word stayed in my chest. It hurt. "I'm not building a wall," I said quietly. "I'm just keeping something private." He looked at me for a long time. Then he said something that made my stomach feel heavy. "If you trust me enough to sleep next to me every night, you should trust me with a password." I didn't speak for a moment. That sentence felt wrong, very wrong, but I didn't know how to explain it. I looked at him and said, "That's not the same thing." He raised his eyebrows. "Why not?" I shook my head slowly. "Because trust doesn't mean giving everything. It doesn't mean no boundaries." He sighed loudly. "You are making this too complicated." I felt tired, very tired. My head was full. I said, "You don't have my passwords, and I don't have yours. That's normal." He quickly replied, "You can have mine any time." I paused again. That did not make me feel better. It made me feel worse. It felt like he was trying to prove something, like he was saying, "See, I am right. You are wrong." But I didn't want his passwords. I never asked for them. I just wanted things to stay simple. I just wanted peace. I looked at him and asked softly, "Why now? Why do you suddenly need this?" He didn't answer right away. He looked away. Then he said, "I don't want to find out later that you have debts, or that you are sending money to someone, or buying things you shouldn't." His words hit me hard. I felt shocked. I felt hurt. I felt accused. I said, what? I don't do that. I never did that." He shrugged. "I believe you, but I want proof." Proof. That word hurt even more. I felt something break inside me. A small crack. But I could feel it. I said, "I have student loans, that's it. My credit is fine. I don't hide anything." He nodded, but his face did not change. "I just want to see it myself." I sat there in silence. I felt tired. I felt confused. I felt sad. I trusted him. I really trusted him. But now, I didn't understand him. And slowly, a small thought came into my mind. Why doesn't he trust me? That night, I could not sleep well. I closed my eyes, but my mind stayed awake. I kept thinking about his words. "I want proof. No secrets. You are building a wall." The words moved again and again in my head. I felt tired. I felt confused. I felt hurt. Kevin was next to me in bed. He was quiet, very quiet. He turned his back to me. He did not say goodnight. He did not touch my hand like he always did. The space between us felt big, too big. Even though we were so close, I felt far away from him. In the morning, everything felt strange. The air felt heavy. The kitchen felt cold. I made coffee like always. I put 2 cups on the table. I tried to act normal. I wanted things to feel normal again. Kevin came out of the bedroom. He looked at me, but his face was flat. No smile, no warmth. "Morning," I said softly. "Morning," he replied. Just one word, nothing more. We sat down to eat. Usually, we talk in the morning. We talk about work. We talk about small things. We laugh sometimes. But that day, there was nothing. Only silence. I tried again. I didn't want this silence. It made me feel nervous. "Kevin," I said slowly, "we can talk about this again, but I still feel the same." He didn't look at me. He kept eating. After a few seconds, he said, "It's okay. You already made your choice." His voice was calm, but it felt cold. Too calm, like ice. "I didn't choose against you," I said quickly. "I just don't feel comfortable giving my password." He put his spoon down. Then he looked at me. "You know," he said, "it must be nice." I blinked. "What?" "To have a private life," he said. His words felt sharp, like small knives, not loud but painful. I felt my chest tighten again. "That's not fair," I said quietly. He shrugged. "It's just how I feel." I didn't know what to say. I felt stuck. Every word felt wrong. If I spoke, maybe it would get worse. If I stayed quiet, it already felt bad. So I stayed quiet. That day at work, I could not focus. I read the same email many times. I made small mistakes. My mind was not there. My mind was at home. My mind was with him. I kept asking myself, am I wrong? Maybe I was too strict. Maybe I was too private. Maybe I didn't understand relationships. Maybe he was right. But then another thought came. Why do I feel scared? That question stayed with me. After work, I went home slowly. I didn't want to go inside. I didn't want another cold conversation, but I had to go. When I opened the door, Kevin was already there, sitting on the couch, looking at his phone. I took a deep breath and walked in. "Hi," I said. "Hey," he answered without looking up. Again, just one word. I put my bag down. I went to the kitchen. I started to cook. I needed something to do. I needed to move my hands. My heart felt too heavy. After some time, he came into the kitchen. "I found a solution," he said. I turned to look at him. "What kind of solution?" He held up his phone. "A budgeting app. We can link our accounts. It shows everything in one place." My stomach dropped again. I already knew what he wanted. It was the same thing, just a different way. I shook my head slowly. "Kevin." "No." His face changed. I saw the anger now. Not cold, not quiet, real anger. "Why not?" he asked. "It's the same thing," I said. "It still gives access to everything." "It's not access," he said quickly. "It's just viewing, just information." I crossed my arms. I felt my body get tense. "I don't want that," I said. His voice got louder. "You don't want anything. Every idea I give, you say no." I felt my heart jump. I didn't like when he raised his voice. "I offered other ideas," I said. "You didn't accept them." "Because they are not enough," he said. Silence filled the room again. But this silence was different. It felt heavy. It felt like something was breaking. I looked at him, really looked at him. His face looked different now, hard, tight, not the man I knew before. He shook his head slowly. "You are blocking me. You are controlling this." I felt shocked. "Controlling?" I repeated. "Yes," he said. "You are the one controlling everything. You decide what I can see and what I cannot see." I took a step back. His words didn't make sense to me. "I'm controlling?" I said. "It's my account." "And I'm your partner," he replied quickly. We stood there, looking at each other. I felt something strange inside me, a mix of sadness and fear. I didn't like this feeling. I didn't like this version of him. "I'm not saying we can't talk about money," I said softly. "I'm just saying I need some space, some privacy." He laughed, but it was not a happy laugh. "Privacy," he said again. That word again. He turned away and walked out of the kitchen. I stood there alone. The food was still cooking. The room was quiet again, but inside me, everything was loud. Too loud. That night, we ate in silence again. No talking, no smiles, no warmth. After dinner, he went back to the couch. I stayed at the table. I didn't want to sit next to him. I didn't know what to say anymore. I looked at my hands. They were shaking a little. I whispered to myself, "This is not normal." I said it again. "This is not normal." But then another thought came. Or maybe, this is how it starts. The next few days felt long, very long. Each day felt heavy. Each day felt the same. Caven did not shout. He did not fight loudly. But his silence was strong. His silence was sharp. It cut me slowly. He still went to work. He still came home. We still ate together. But something was gone. Something important. The warmth was gone. The easy feeling was gone. I missed it. I really missed it. Sometimes he made small comments, small words. But those words hurt more than a big fight. One night, I was checking my phone, just reading messages from a friend. Cavan looked at me and said, "Talking to someone special?" I looked up, confused. "What?" He shrugged. "Just asking." His voice sounded light, but his eyes were not light. His eyes were serious. I felt uncomfortable. I said, "No, just my friend." He nodded slowly. "Of course." But I didn't feel like he believed me. Another day I came home with groceries. I bought some snacks, some chocolate, nothing big. He looked at the bag and said, "Must be nice to buy whatever you want." I froze. "What do you mean?" I asked. He leaned back and crossed his arms. "Nothing. It's your money, your private money." Again that word. Private. I felt tired. So tired. "I'm not doing anything wrong," I said. "I didn't say you are," he replied. But it felt like he did. Every day, the same feeling came back. I felt watched, even when he didn't look at me. I felt judged, even when he said nothing. I felt small. I felt wrong. I started to think too much. I checked my own actions. I asked myself, is this okay? Is that okay? Even simple things felt heavy. One night, I sat alone in the bedroom. Kevin was in the living room. I could hear the TV, but I didn't know what he was watching. I held my phone and opened my bank app. I stared at the screen. Everything was normal: my salary, my savings, my small expenses, coffee, food, bills. Nothing was strange, nothing was wrong, but I still felt nervous. I whispered to myself, "Why am I scared?" I didn't have an answer. I thought about giving him what he wanted, just to stop this feeling, just to bring peace back, just to hear him laugh again, just to feel close again. I closed my eyes. For a moment, I imagined giving him my password. I imagined him checking my account, watching every move, every small thing. I imagined him asking questions. What is this? Why did you buy this? Who did you send money to? My chest felt tight. I opened my eyes quickly. No, I said softly. No, I don't want that. My voice was small, but I meant it. That night, I walked to the living room. I didn't want to hide anymore. I didn't want to stay quiet. Kevin, I said. He looked at me, but his face was blank. We need to talk, I added. He muted the TV, but did not turn it off. Okay, he said. I sat down across from him. My hands were cold. I feel bad, I said slowly. I feel very bad. This situation is hurting me. He didn't speak. I feel like you don't trust me, I continued, and that makes me sad. He looked at me for a moment. Then he said, I said I trust you. But you want proof, I replied. He looked away. That's different, he said. I shook my head. No, it's not different. If you trust me, you don't need to watch everything. He sighed. You don't understand. Then help me understand, I said. There was a long silence. Then he spoke. I just don't want surprises, he said. What kind of surprises? I asked. Bad ones, he said. Debt, secrets, things that can destroy everything later. I listened carefully. I don't have those things, I said. But I don't know that, he replied quickly. I felt a small pain in my chest again. You know me, I said. You have been with me for 2 years. He didn't answer. That silence said a lot. I felt something change inside me, something important. It was not just about the bank account anymore. It was about trust, real trust. I took a deep breath. Kevin, I said softly, this is not healthy. He looked at me, surprised. What do you mean? He asked. This, I said, moving my hand between us. This feeling, this pressure, this fear, it's not right. His face became hard again. So now I'm the problem? He said. I didn't say that, I replied. I'm saying this situation is wrong. He stood up suddenly. No, he said. You are the one making it wrong. My heart started to beat fast. I'm just asking for honesty, he continued. And I'm giving you honesty, I said. I'm telling you how I feel. That's not enough for me, he said. His words were clear, very clear, not enough. I felt those words deep inside me. Not enough. I stayed quiet for a moment. Then I asked the question that was in my heart for days. If I never give you my password, what will happen? The room became very quiet. Kevin looked at me. His eyes were serious, cold again. Then he said slowly, "Then maybe we are not ready for the future." I felt my breath stop. Those words were heavy, very heavy. I looked at him, but I didn't recognize him anymore. The man in front of me felt like a stranger. And for the first time, a new thought came into my mind. Maybe this is not about money. I swallowed slowly. Maybe this is about control. That night, I did not cry. I thought I would cry. I felt the pain in my chest. I felt the pressure in my throat. But no tears came out. I just sat there, very still, very quiet. Kevin went to bed early. He did not say good night. He did not look at me. The door closed softly, but the sound felt loud in my heart. I stayed in the living room alone. The lights were dim. The clock moved slowly. Tick, tick, tick. Every second felt heavy. I looked around our apartment, our sofa, our table, our cups. Everything looked the same, but it did not feel the same. I whispered to myself, "What am I doing?" I asked the question again. What am I doing? I loved him. I really did. For 2 years, I felt safe with him. I felt happy with him. We laughed. We shared small moments, simple moments, good moments. But now, something was different. Now I felt watched. I felt judged. I felt like I had to prove myself every day. That was not love. I closed my eyes. I remembered the first time we met. He was kind. He was warm. He listened to me. He respected me. I felt seen. I felt calm. I opened my eyes again. "Where did that person go?" I asked softly. There was no answer. The next morning, I woke up early. The sun was just coming in through the window. The room felt quiet, peaceful, but also empty. Kevin was still sleeping. I looked at him for a long moment. I didn't feel anger. I didn't feel hate. I felt sad. Just sad. I stood up slowly and walked to the kitchen. I made tea. My hands were steady this time, not shaking like before. Something inside me felt clear. Very clear. I sat at the table and waited for him to wake up. When he came out, he looked tired. He saw me sitting there. "Morning," he said. "Morning," I replied. My voice was calm, very calm. He looked at me for a second, like he felt something was different. I took a deep breath. "We need to talk," I said. He sighed a little. "Again?" "Yes," I said. "But this time, please listen." He sat down across from me. He looked serious. I looked at him and spoke slowly. "I have been thinking a lot," I said, "about us, about this situation." He did not speak. He just watched me. "I understand you want honesty," I continued. "I understand you are scared of problems in the future." He nodded a little. "But what you are asking, it is too much for me," I said. "It makes me feel unsafe. It makes me feel small." His face changed slightly. I don't want to feel like that in my own home, I added. He opened his mouth, but I raised my hand gently. Please, I said, let me finish. He closed his mouth again. I offered other ways, I said. We can plan together. We can share information. We can build something together. I paused. But I will not give you my password, I said clearly. The room became quiet. Very quiet. Kevin looked at me. His eyes were searching my face. So that's your final answer? He asked. Yes, I said. My voice did not shake. It was steady. He leaned back in his chair. He looked away for a moment. Then he said, Then I don't know how we move forward. I felt the pain again, but this time it was softer. Not sharp like before, just heavy. I think I know, I said quietly. He looked back at me. What do you mean? He asked. I took a deep breath. I think we want different things, I said. His eyes became serious again. You want full control, I continued. You want to see everything. You want proof for everything. I placed my hand on my chest. But I want trust, I said. Simple trust, without fear, without checking, without pressure. He didn't speak. And if we can't give each other what we need, I added, then maybe we are not right for each other. The words felt heavy, but also true. Very true. Kevin stood up slowly. So that's it? He asked. I looked at him. I felt my heart beat fast, but I stayed calm. I think, yes, I said softly. Silence filled the room again. But this silence felt different. It felt clear, not confusing, not heavy like before, just clear. He shook his head and walked away. I heard the bedroom door close. This time, I did cry. Tears came slowly, quiet tears. I covered my face with my hands. I didn't want this, I whispered. I didn't want this. But deep inside, I knew something important. I chose myself. I chose my peace. The next few days were hard, very hard. We talked about moving out. We divided our things. We kept it calm, no shouting, no big fight, just quiet sadness. When he left, the apartment felt empty. Too quiet, but also lighter. I sat on the couch alone. I looked around again. Same place, same things. But I felt different. I felt free, not happy, not yet, but free. I took a deep breath and closed my eyes. I will be okay, I said softly. I will be okay. And this time, I believed it. Moral lesson. Trust is not about control. Trust is not about watching every move. Real trust is quiet. Real trust gives space. If someone asks you to give up your peace to prove your love, that is not love. Choose respect. Choose boundaries. Choose yourself.